honored guests, let me tell you a story about what happened to me and why I wasn't here in the last meeting. In theater, if you're told to break a leg, that's a good thing. Well, on August 29th, I was going to roll up a driveway. At the bottom of every driveway, there's a little lip. So what I was going to do is I was going to pop a little wheelie to get my casters over the lip, but I popped the wheelie a little bit too soon, and when I landed, my casters hit the lip, my wheelchair stopped, and I kept going. When I landed, I heard the distinctive sound of a bone breaking, and I knew it was in my leg. I wasn't sure exactly how. And that's not a good thing. I was taken to the ER, and they confirmed that it was my right femur, which is the largest bone in the body. So what I'd like to do tonight is give you an idea of what happened, how they fixed it, why I was in the hospital for 12 days, and a humorous story that I learned while I was there. In an early consultation with the surgeon, I asked him if after the surgery, and it healed, would I be able to dance again? He said, of course. Now he'd read the notes on me. He just was confused. He was just distracted. What they did is on the 31st, a couple days later, which is a Saturday, he inserted a hollow titanium rod into my femur, which sounds scary, but it's actually a procedure that has a long history of strong success, dating back to 1939. And it's actually something that they used during World War II quite a bit. So if that was all that happened, in just a few days, I'd have been just fine. However, while I was in the hospital, my blood started going crazy. I became anemic. My temperature went up to 102 for a couple of days. So I was having medical issues in addition to the bone. In fact, my leg was healing just fine during this whole process. So that's why I was in the hospital for 12 days. It took that long for all my vitals to stabilize. Once that happened, I was able to leave the hospital. Yay! While I was in the hospital, I learned something very humorous. The nurses have these tall, rolling medicine dispensers that have computers on them. And originally they were called cows, for computer on wheels. Well, they now call them WOW, which is workstation on wheels. The reason they changed is because a long time ago, one of the nurses had left their cow in a room, and there was an overweight woman in the room. And the nurse called into her assistant and said, "Could you please get the cow out of the room?" So that is why they changed the name. Neither name is good, I thought, but at least you won't get into trouble with WOW. The day before, every so often I slip out of my wheelchair and have to call 911 to help me get back in. I had ordered and received a seatbelt the day before on the 28th. I hadn't installed it yet, and so now it's installed, and I guarantee you I'm going to be wearing it. The question, though, remains, what would have happened if I had had it on when this whole thing happened? Either A, my wheelchair would have fallen on top of me, which would have been really bad, or the more likely, B, the wheelchair would have, because my chair is so heavy in the back, would have lifted up and then fallen back down, and I'd have been okay. I guarantee you I am not going back there to try it, to see which one would work. So in conclusion, life has its share of challenges, which we all encounter. This was my latest one. And I learned a couple things. First of all, I learned to be more cautious and not act like a 20-year-old. And this is something that all of us can learn. By moving forward with any particular event and looking at where you are physically, then you'll be able to learn quite a bit about yourself and about any event that happens. Madam Toastmaster.